Hey everybody, what is happening? What's going on? Welcome to another YouTube video today out of beautiful Sequoia National Park. And I figured it's a perfect opportunity to talk a little bit about one of my favorite lenses for the Fujifilm system, which is the XF 100-400. And I've actually been using this lens quite a lot recently. And so I definitely have some experience working with this lens. So today we're gonna take some pictures and I will tell you all about my experience with the Fujifilm 100-400. Let's go. And I'm gonna start right off with a few things that I really like about this lens before I go over the things that I'm not such a big fan of. One of the things for sure is the build quality. Pretty much like any Fujifilm products, I think that the build quality is pretty amazing. I'm really beating up my gear and I drop it, which is actually why I have one of these lens covers on it, because it was getting really bad to a certain point. So the build quality is amazing. Everything on this lens feels solid. The aperture rings, everything just feels like it's properly built. Okay, so while I'm balancing across this tree, another thing I love about this lens is that it's weather sealed, and this is also something, especially for my work as a wildlife photographer and filmmaker, it's something that's actually extremely crucial. And I've been once again beating up this lens like hardcore. I took it out in notorious hard, raining and snowing and ice storm conditions, and it's never been a problem. And yeah, this lens has never given me any issues. So build quality, weather sealing, absolutely top level. Definitely something I really appreciate when it comes to gear. Another thing I really like about this lens is its form factor. So for a 100-400, which is over 600 millimeters actually on the full frame system, this lens is pretty compact, which for me, since as you can see I'm walking through the woods all day trying to find wildlife and taking pictures of it, I really appreciate it that this is not a huge bulky heavy lens, and it still gives me all the variety that I need in terms of the focal length. So another plus for this lens for sure. And the next thing would be the image stabilizer on this lens. The image stabilizer is definitely more geared towards photo. I actually don't really like it. It's very jumpy when it comes to video, so I wouldn't really recommend it for video. However, for photo, it's pretty amazing, especially because my X-T3 also doesn't have an image stabilizer. So it definitely helps out a lot. Also because I rarely use a tripod, because I'm really, always just like kind of in a run and gun situation, crawling, like as you just see, like walking across a tree, like crawling under bushes or whatever. So I really can't use a tripod in most cases. So that's why, once again, the form factor and the fact that it has a pretty good image stabilizer is also something that really suits me for my personal work. So yeah, thumbs up for that. All right, the next thing, and this is probably one of the most important things when it comes to lenses, is the image quality. So I really like the image quality of the Fujifilm 100-400. If they come out sharp, they come out really nice and sharp, which actually brings me to one of the downsides, which is the focus motor. Sometimes I find that actually the whole autofocus system on the lens isn't as fast and as precise as I would like it to be, which results sometimes in in images that are not like super sharp, but if it does nail the autofocus, then they're really sharp, and yeah, look just beautiful, which is one of the reasons I actually prefer shooting in burst mode and like re-hitting the autofocus. Well, hey, there's a bird. 1 second. All right, we're back. So yeah, I think actually now when I'm talking about the downsides of this lens, I think that the autofocus motor should be faster and more accurate. Sometimes, once again, I feel like I have to shoot in burst mode and just redo the whole autofocus again, just in order to get a couple of images that are like just perfectly sharp which shouldn't be the case, but for me, from my experience, this is kind of what's happening. So yeah, one of the downsides is, I would say, once again, the autofocus, which I think is too slow. Another downside of this lens, in my opinion, is that it's not an internal zoom. This is an external zoom. Once again, I haven't had any issues when it comes to weather sealing. However, I just prefer internal zoom lenses, especially when I have it zoomed out and then it rains on top and I zoom back in. Sometimes I get a little like paranoid about it, kind of pushing in all the moisture into the lens. So yeah, one of the things I definitely really like more about the new, what is it, 150 to 600 or something? Yeah, which has an internal zoom, so that's definitely much preferred from my end. Yeah, and honestly, I think these are all the downsides I can think of right now. I've been walking around a little bit, taking some more pictures and kind of thinking about more things that I dislike about this lens, but there's really not a lot overall. I'm really happy with it, and I've been using it for many years, and yeah, never let me down. Just been a great lens overall, so I highly recommend it, honestly, to any of you considering getting a more wildlife photography suited lens. I would say this is definitely it. It also comes at a pretty nice price point, I think, especially if you compare it to lenses from other manufacturers and, you know, around about the same focal length. And now I'm gonna let you all go. Once again, highly recommend it for photo, not so much for video. Overall, great lens, great build quality. And yeah, I'm gonna keep on taking some more pictures. Thanks for watching this quick video on the lens. Wishing you guys nothing but the best, and see you in the next video. Take care and bye bye.